As students begin funneling back into campus for the start of spring semester, it's also the start of the spring semester for SU hockey in the Tennity Ice Pavilion. Syracuse gets ready to take on Oswego State here in Syracuse, New York. And what should be a good matchup between the 14th ranked Orange and the unranked Lakers. James Colgan and Cal Stewart happy to be bringing you the action from inside Tennity Ice Pavilion on a cold Sunday afternoon in central New York. And Cal, yesterday night Syracuse traveling up to Niagara for a big road game against a former NECHL opponent. And it was senior night for Niagara, and the Purple Eagles took care of business against the Orange.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, James. The Niagara Purple Eagles ended up winning in surprise fashion up in Niagara Falls over the Orange, despite the Orange almost doubling up the Purple Eagles on the shot totals.
Underway here in Tennity Ice Pavilion, Trip Franzese, Connor McNamara, and Lucas Prestamo getting the start on the forward lines for the Orange. On defense, it's Ford Hatchett and Luke Cato. On the other side, Chris Wands and Theo Cupp, the defensemen, and Nick Mastro, Oscar Marchi, Adam Marvin, the starting forwards for the Lakers. In net for both of these teams, it's Jake Kaler for the Orange, and on the other side, Alex Galosi for the Lakers.
This is the first game in 4 matchups for the Syracuse Orange that Jake Kaler will be back in net. It's a little bit surprising over the last couple of weeks, considering Kaler was the preferred goalie for most of the first half of the season, but he's back in net tonight.
Kaler comes into the game averaging just under 3.5 goals per game against. The save percentage hovering right around that 900 mark, which for a team that loves scoring and playing as much up-tempo hockey as Syracuse does, it's not as bad as it sounds. But now here's Peter Owen Hayward streaking into the slot, rips a shot, and he scores. First shot of the game, first goal of the game for Peter Owen Hayward. 1-0 Syracuse.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of start you need if you're Connor Tracy and this Syracuse Orange team. Tough loss last night on the road, but your premier goal scorer and top offensive player, Peter Owen Hayward, making a statement just 45 seconds into this one. That's you know Connor Tracy is happy about that one.
Peter Owen Hayward extends his point streak to 14 games. That's the longest in the ESCHL this season. With that big goal, Peter Owen Hayward continuing what's been a spectacular season thus far. We've come to expect it. 17th goal of the season, 27th point of the year as well for the star junior forward for the Orange, number 17 in white and orange. Coming in on the face-off now, it's Joey Pucciarelli. Wins it back for Hatchett behind the net, spins it high off the glass, off a skate of Preston. And now Preston able to charge out to center ice with it. Hands off for Pucciarelli, who works it in deep. Pucci plays it around the boards, looking for Padalino. And now he's working back with it again. Behind the net for Bedford. And a pinch from Hatchett allows Syracuse to get off the ice for a wholesale change. Now a quick up for Oswego. Looking for McNamara, and he was walled off that puck. Syracuse wins it right back in the other end. Haynes takes it up. Chris Bruner Grande getting his first Syracuse hockey action, his first shift of his career so far. The shot skitters wide off the stick. Now Ains with it again. That was Kalinowski with the shot. Bruner Grande on the near side of the screen.
Yeah, you mentioned Bruner Grande, the sophomore transfer out of Chatham University in NCAA D3. He's been hurt for a lot of his time at Syracuse so far, but we'll be watching closely to see what he can do in an orange uniform.
Sophomore forward, one of a few players to transfer in from Division III, most notably one of those guys in between the pipes tonight. It's Jake Kaler. He, of course, transferring from UMass Boston before taking over the reins in net for the Orange, as he circles back behind the net to grab that puck and hand it off for Luke Cato. Lost in the skates of McNamara, and now he gives it off for Franzese. Good move by Franzese, and now here goes Prestamo. Prestamo down the wing, got a step, and he scores! Lucas Prestamo, phenomenal move on the partial break. 3 goals 3 shots and 2 goals for the Orange in the first 3 minutes of this game. 2-0 Syracuse.
Yeah, talk about the tale of 2 games, James. This is exactly the opposite of the start that the Orange had last night against Niagara, where at points they had 40 shots on the board and just 1 goal. Early in this one, they have 2 shots on goal, and both of them have found the back of the net. Great start converting on offense.
Prestamo's 3rd goal of the season and 9th point makes it 2-0 Syracuse in the early going. And Prestamo lays a big hit as well. Syracuse bringing the physicality against the Lakers, who have had no response in the early going of this one. Alex Galosi, not the start he wanted in net either. 3 shots against and 2 goals. And now a whistle on an offsides called against Owen Harrington.
Yeah, this start's a little bit surprising, James, for the Oswego State Lakers. You remember when these 2 teams last played, Syracuse won on a controversial buzzer beater type game-winning goal. You'd think that the Lakers would be using that as inspiration and coming out harder early in this one, but that's obviously not the case.
And that was a wild game, a buzzer beater indeed. And you don't see many of those in hockey, but the referees deeming that very late goal coming off the stick of McNamara in front was what won the game in basically the final stages when Syracuse traveled up to play Oswego. Now, though, Syracuse looking to make sure no buzzer beaters needed in Tennity Ice Pavilion, up 2-0 early on. Starting the breakout are the Lakers. Works it down low for Mastro. Mastro giving chase. He's knocked off the puck by Hatchin, and Jacobs grabs a handle of it for the Orange. Padalino's clearing attempt broken up. Now a quick chance in front. Centering feed, and that one finds the back of the net. Kai Miller.
Hey, how about that? There have been 3 shots total in this hockey game so far in the first 4 minutes, and there have been 3 goals. That's a huge play if you're the Oswego State Lakers. Stop the bleeding right away. And you know what 15 seconds ago felt like it could be a slaughter now feels suddenly like a game.
Adam Marvin into the back of the net for Oswego on a weird bounce in front. Didn't see who got the last stick of it, but it looks like Marvin's going to get credit for the goal. And a big bounce back play for the Lakers on their first shot of the game as well. As a few players go spilling into the boards on the near side, and Marvin, the goal scorer, is down in a heap, as well as a Syracuse player on the near side. Still not able to see who that is. Looks like it might be Connor Preston. Slow to get up. Now finally rises to his skates.
Didn't quite see what happened on that play, but Connor Preston is definitely shaken up. No penalties to be called, it looks like. So maybe just they got tangled up along the corner, or along the boards, pardon.
It looked to me as though Preston might have lost an edge as he was trying to cut up ice with it, and he undercut Marvin, who seems to be okay. He's back on the bench now, and then went flying into the boards at full speed. Boy, we sure hope he's all right. He's been such an important part of the Syracuse mentality this year, the way that they play hockey. That grinded out fourth line. Connor Preston never afraid to lay the body. And that time, looks like he lost an edge on his skates. And now he's being attended to by the training staff just off the ice. Now here's Hayward with it. Strides into the offensive end. 2-on-1 developing. Harrington on the backhand. Gives it back for Hayward in front, and they score. It's Brezzi who's going to get credit for it. A gorgeous feed between Harrington, Hayward, and Stephen Brezzi, and it's 3-1 Syracuse. Just 5 total shots on goal, and we've got 4 goals in this game.
Yeah, not a great afternoon to be a goalie here at Tennity Ice Pavilion. I don't know if I've ever seen a game start like this. 4 goals in the first 5 minutes. Not sure quite what to make of it, but we're in for some exciting, looks like we're in for some exciting offensive action for the rest of the afternoon.
Prestamo, one of the earlier goals, Lucas Prestamo, and then most recently it was Stephen Brezzi. Adam Marvin adding a goal for the Lakers to make it 3-1 in the early going. But remember, folks, we're just 5 minutes into this game. Already 4 goals on the board, and now here's Trip Franzese looking for more.
Yeah, that's Steven Bressy's 5th goal of the season. The most among defensemen on this Syracuse hockey club. Bressy only scored 1 goal in all of his previous seasons with the Orange, and he's exploded with 5 this season. So he continues his offensive output in addition to being strong on the back end.
Well, we've certainly seen the offensive potential from Steven Bressi over the years. He's been someone who has shown some really strong skating ability. He's had a lot of really impressive spurts on the offensive side of things. Hasn't gotten a lot of power play time, which might be part of a way to look at why he hasn't put that many pucks in the back of the net. But he's been very active on the rush this year, jumping up, making as many plays as he can. And now with 14:08 left in the first period and Syracuse holding on to a 3-1 lead, he's got one of the goals to show for it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. One of the quickest players on this roster, certainly on the back end. He has some bursts of speed, and when he plays aggressively on the forecheck, it causes problems for other teams.
Face off, one back by Oswego. Circled along the end boards. And there is Connor Preston holding with it, so seems to have shaked off the earlier play. Good to see him back on the ice because that was a scary play from a player who usually has no problem showing the physicality. Pucciarelli as well. Now this is technically the third line, but with the way they play, Cal, you'd think maybe even the fourth line would be more appropriate to call this group because they love throwing around the body, they love playing with physicality, and they preach really that simple two-way game that you really look for out of a classic fourth line.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I think you could say much of the same about the third and fourth line on Connor Tracy's team here. Hard-nosed team. You know, interestingly, what we saw last night against Niagara was they got outplayed physically, which is rare for this team. And I'd imagine that that's something they want to clean up.
Working with it now is Matt Jacobs, and Jacobs is into the offensive end. Jacobs off for Harrington. Sharp angle shot from Harrington. Hit off the blocker of Galosi, it looked like. And now Brezzi flips it back in. Hayward knocked to the ice. Crowd looking for a call. And it looks like they'll get one as well. Now some extracurriculars after the play. It's a trip called against the Lakers.
Yeah, and this brings out the Syracuse power play, which we've talked a lot about. One of the best power plays in the entire ACHA. But last night against Niagara, that certainly was not the case. They
Not
went
at all.
0 for 6 on the man advantage last night. Very uncharacteristic for a special teams unit that has been dominating teams' penalty kills all season.
And a very uncharacteristic night for the Orange, who lost that game 5-3 to the Purple Eagles up in Niagara. Now looking to bounce back, already off to a good start, up 3-1 with 12:59 left in this opening period, and with a chance to make it a 3-goal lead.
If you're Oswego and goaltender Alex Galosi, you've got to get a kill here and make some saves to stop the bleeding, really, from this first 10 minutes.
Corcoran holding with it on the near boards. And he's knocked off the puck, and then it's fought right back out to center. Nice play made by the penalty-killing forward, Brett Dawson. Now here's Prestamo again with some speed. Sidesteps one. Works it in behind the net. Preston gives it back to the point for Cato. Cato back to Preston. Low shot from Preston, missed everyone. Might have been looking for a pass. Didn't find that either. Now Corcoran, soft wrist shot, tipped in front, the rebound, loose on the goal line. And Galosi able to jump on top of it and hold it for a stoppage in play. 12:07 left, 1:08 still left on the tripping minor assessed to Mike Lemieux of the Lakers. But a good chance for the Syracuse power play right there.
Yeah, that whole chance was set up by a great zone entry from Lucas Prestamo, able to get past multiple layers of the Oswego State penalty kill and set up the power play deep in their own zone. That led to that scoring chance you just saw.
And now another penalty coming up. Looked like another tripping call against Harrington, so 5-on-4. Could be a two-man advantage for an extended period of time, and as Oswego touches up, that's exactly what it'll be. Another tripping call, that time coming against Bobby Vasta. And he'll head to the penalty box So Syracuse going to get 50 seconds of a 5-on-3.
Yeah, this really feels like one of those moments in the game. 5-on-3, not even halfway through the first, up by 2 goals that could really almost make this game out of reach, barring some sort of miraculous comeback for Oswego. They need to do something to change the tenor of this game.
Hatchett shot, and that one finds the back of the net. Goal for Syracuse. Ford Hatchett might have been tipped in front, but it doesn't matter. The outcome is the same. 4-1, Syracuse leads, and a power play goal to show for it.
Wow, what an explosive start to this game. Combination of precision finishing from the Orange forwards and weak defensive zone coverage and lack of discipline from Oswego State so far. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers called a timeout here, because they need to do something.
Of course, it's still a 5-on-4. After that goal, still 1 minute and 53 seconds of power play time, as it was Nathan Morgan that came out onto the ice for the Lakers. He's going to have to go right back because this is 5-on-4 time for the Orange. A chance to add to the 3-goal lead as well. Here's Hayward with some speed. Hayward throws it across the net mouth looking for Harrington. That one missed in front. Syracuse holds on to it though. Back for Harrington, near point. Shot gets taken, and that one hit off a stick in front. Glanced off the high glass. Hayward with it, working it down low, and then his pass is broken up. An aggressive pinch there from Ford Hatchett. He tried to knock his man off the puck, but it found its way all the way back into the SU end. And then some good work by Chris Carey to hold that puck in the orange end, or excuse me, rather, Chris Wands making the play with that one. But now here's Franzese again, centering feed looking for Hatchett. That one hit off Hatchett's stick, but was saved by Galosi. First big save of the afternoon for Alex Galosi. And here's Stephen Brezzi again, earlier goal scorer, rushing into the offensive end. Prestamo across for Cato, and a blast from Cato misses just wide. That one comes all the way back out to center. 30 seconds left on the power play for Syracuse. 10:20 left on the game clock in this first period. Syracuse holding on to a 4-1 lead. Alex Marvin, the goal scorer for the Lakers, their lone goal of the afternoon. Wisely killing some time as we're down to 15 seconds left on the power play. And then a turnover at center ice, and now here's a rush chance for Oswego. Backhanded try, misses wide from Kaler. That was the defenseman Walsh trying to make a play. Not a typical offensive player for the Lakers, but he's working in deep, trying to kill off the final seconds of this power play, and he does. We're back to 5-on-5 play. Syracuse gets a power play goal out of the first penalty. And then a tip play in front, a few saves made by Kaler, and then a whistle blows early right as that puck was coming out. Syracuse going to get the stoppage of play, and Jake Kaler stands tall on his first big test of the afternoon.
Yeah, a thing to watch out here for if you're Jake Kaler and the Syracuse defense is we're more than halfway through the first period of play here, and that is Jake Kaler's first save of the game. As a goalie, it's always hard to stay warm and focused on the game if you're not getting any sort of shots or activity down in your own zone. So that's going to be a key for the Orange if Jake Kaler and the D can remain sharp despite the inactivity.
5-on-5 play again, and a big hit at center ice by Ford Hatchett. A quick up from Patalino looking for Ains, just fell off of the stick. And they would have had Ains and Bruner Grande on a de facto 2-on-1. So Cal Syracuse with a great start in this game, up 4-1 with 9 minutes left in the first period. As now here's another rush from Kalinowski looking in front for Ains. Puck is loose in the paint. And Bruner Grande comes away with it. Good stop by Galosi. Kalinowski on the backhand. Ains back for Bruner Grande. Centering feed looking back for Kalinowski, misses. And then it's up into the netting. So Cal, Syracuse off to a great start in this game. As I started to say before, earlier when these two teams played, it was a 3-2 win. And really the dying seconds of the game, You think maybe playing an opponent from a local area, a team that's perceived as a rival. Syracuse want to come out and send a message. We're a 10-6 team. We're number 14 in the country. We deserve a little bit better outcome than we had last time, just kind of scraping away against a 7-11 Oswego team that's given the Orange fits in past years.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think really the most important key to that is last night's loss at Niagara. A similar kind of team to this Oswego State Lakers team, not nationally known with that kind of reputation as a great hockey, ACHA hockey program, but a tough loss last night for the Orange. I'd imagine that they have a lot of motivation coming into this one.
Cato puts it on the backhand and circles it back around the end boards looking for Preston. And Preston plays it up ahead for Pucciarelli, who lays a few hits in on the boards before it's finally poked out. And now here's Preston with some speed. Preston tries to get around a man, but he stood up right there. Nice play by Chris Wands. Preston again tries a slapper from the blue line and smiles as that one hits off a shin guard, and he heads back to the bench. Shots 8-3 in favor of Syracuse in this early frame. And knocked to the ice, coming away with it is Christian Van Heck. Van Heck with some speed, puts the brakes on, knocked to the boards. Hands off for McNamara. McNamara centering feed, missed everyone. Comes back out to center ice, where a new face for the Orange can touch that one up. It's Spencer Pickett playing in just his third game.
Yeah, he got the start last night with normal defenseman David Rosen out with an ear infection this week. Suffered on the plane ride up from his native North Carolina, but that opening in the Orange lineup is the reason Spencer Pickett is playing today for Syracuse.
And Pickett with some good face time, maybe make a good impression and work his way into the lineup some more. As an icing is called and Syracuse gets an offensive zone draw out of it. Face-off won by the Lakers. Marvin giving chase. Now here's Hayward. Hayward rising wrist shot just over the cage. And boy, Lakers giving Peter Owen Hayward all sorts of space, and he is plenty happy to make them pay for it every single time they do. We mentioned a 14-game point streak now in the ESCHL. As that puck came right back out to center, and Harrington jumped on top of it. Hayward up ahead for Jacobs. Jacobs on the boards. Up top for Corcoran. Corcoran, shot tipped in front. Galosi looking for it. That puck was loose in the crease, and Jacobs couldn't find a handle on it. Played safely back out into the Orange end. And another big opportunity for Syracuse, as this game has been decidedly tilted in the side of the Orange in the early portion of this one. Shot from Kalinowski, bounced and hit the blocker of Galosi.
Oswego State looks all out of sorts in the defensive zone so far tonight. They're making costly turnovers around the blue line areas. They're not picking up sticks in the slot. They're just allowing Orange players way too much space to make plays in the offensive zone, and that is reflective of the score early in this game, with Syracuse already putting up 4 goals.
Into the offensive end, as there is Pickett again holding with it. Now plays it up ahead. And Preston gives chase. Adam Bedford out onto the ice as well. As a low shot, nice play there from Preston, got in on Galosi. And then Bedford through a centering feed will get a stoppage in play, and it's another penalty called against Oswego. A hooking call coming against number 10, Nathan Morgan.
Yeah.
Or rather, they'll send someone else to the box to serve that penalty. It's Bobby Vasta again. So 5-on-4 time, 2 minutes of it for the Orange with 4:32 left in this first period, and Syracuse holding on to a 4-1 lead.
That's not a penalty Oswego can really afford to be taking right now. Away from the puck in the defensive zone, a hook, kind of a lazy play. I'm sure that the Oswego coaching staff is not happy about that one. You never want to take penalties away from the puck.
Flub back into the Syracuse end. 30 seconds killed off that penalty to Vasta. Here's Hatchett, drop pass looking for Hayward, and Hayward's got ahead of steam. Hayward looking for Jacobs. Jacobs finds Harrington. Harrington right up the slot, gives off for McNamara. Drop pass for Hatchett, and that shot looked like it hit off a body in front. Maybe Galosi gets the save, but a nice opportunity and a pretty setup from the Syracuse power play. Now here's Hayward with it again. Holds, and a glove save made by Galosi.
Yeah, I think that was a blocked shot by an Oswego State defenseman, but that either way, it prevented Ford Hatchett from having his first goal of the season, despite having 17 assists for the Orange so far this campaign. Has not yet been able to find the net.
Face-off won back cleanly by Franzese. Drops off for Prestamo. Now for Preston. Wristed down low for Franzese again. 40 seconds left on the power play. Syracuse still holding on to this 4-1 lead. Franzese looked for an angle for a slap shot, hit off a body in front. Now a tip chance out in front from Corcoran for Franzese. And that one got in on the goaltender Galosi, but he made a good save. Cato keeps it in for Syracuse in the final 20 seconds. And then Franzese is stapled to the board, slow to get up, but
another
he does.
Penalty coming against Oswego.
And you're exactly right, another penalty called by the official down low, and I believe that's going to be a boarding call against Oswego on the hit on Franzese. He was slow to get up after that one. And that's indeed what the call will be. 2 minutes to Martin Simonik. And with Syracuse holding on to a 4-1 lead in this game. Now 9 seconds of 5-on-3 time, and then another minute 50 of power play time, and that's all before this first period ends, as Syracuse has come out with a whopping in this first period. Hatchett, wrist shot, gobbled up by Galosi and helped.
Yeah, it's hard to have success in this sport if you're taking these many penalties. I mean, anytime if you've had 2 separate 5-on-3 penalty kills in the first period, that's not generally a recipe for success in hockey. I'd imagine the Oswego State coaching staff will be heavily emphasizing discipline during this first intermission.
Syracuse holding with it on the near point. And a one-time chance for Hayward, just missed wide. Hayward looking for his 3rd point of the period, that is. And now he's behind the net, circles it back in front, but a hit off the side of the cage. Jacobs walls off his man.
Peter Owen Hayward really has been a matchup nightmare so far this season for teams on the power play. He has scored 33 power play goals in his career. That's almost 45% of his total goals in a Syracuse Orange uniform. He's a real weapon on the man advantage for Syracuse and has been for a long time.
Slap shot taken by Hatchett, tipped in front by McNamara, but gobbled up by Galosi with 90 seconds left in the opening frame, and Syracuse holding on to a 4-1 lead. The Orange will send out its 2nd power play unit, just under a minute left in this man advantage. James Colgan, Cal Stewart happy to be bringing you the action from inside Tennity Ice Pavilion. Syracuse looking to take the weekend back-to-back, the second end of it at least, after a 5-3 loss yesterday up in Niagara. Shot whistles wide off the stick of Stephen Brezzi. He's got a goal earlier in the frame. The goals for Syracuse, the first one coming from Peter Owen Hayward, the second one from Lucas Prestamo. And now Stephen Brezzi, scorer of the third goal in this frame, holds on to that one as the puck tips down to play with a minute even left on the clock. And a 4-1 lead for Syracuse. And Cal, you were talking about the Syracuse mentality shift, looking to try to beat some of these more blue-collar teams. What changes? What do you have to do to be able to kind of fix that when you're used to playing an up-tempo, fast-speed game? How do you translate that to playing a more physical, bruising style?
Well, you can't change up too much because this up-tempo, fast-paced offensive style that they've been doing, it works against most teams. And, I mean, tonight, or this afternoon, pardon me, is just another example of that. The key, I would say, when you're playing more physical teams is discipline. Because when you're a skilled team and you're getting banged around, you're not really used to playing that way. And it can be hard to adjust to, and sometimes you become undisciplined and take a lot of penalties as a result. And that's when I think that highly skilled teams get in trouble when playing against more blue-collar physical teams. So far, discipline not an issue for the Orange in this frame, though.
Syracuse taking just one penalty in the opening frame as well. It's the final ticks off of yet another Oswego power play, or rather Syracuse power play, Oswego penalty, tick off the clock. And with 40.8 seconds left, Ford Hatchett ices the puck as we come back to 5-on-5 play. Shots 15-3 in favor of Syracuse.
Yeah, these shot totals are starting to look a little bit like they were last night. The difference, the scoring totals are completely flipped, with Syracuse finally being able to convert on some of these shots.
Big rush from Pucciarelli into the offensive end. Pucciarelli centering feed looking for Bedford. And Galosi grabs a hold of that one with the stick with 23.5 left in the frame. 4-1 lead for the Orange. Few goals from Syracuse coming from a few different angles. The story, all you need from the Orange. Scoring goals on 2 of their first 3 shots of the game. And really helping to dominate the pace and control of this one. Harrington back for Jacobs, and Jacobs' shot goes high. Final 10 seconds of the period. Both guys spin down. Hayward not happy. Brezzi looks in front for Hayward, and he's knocked off the puck. Then a shot from Corcoran right as the time expires. Galosi knocks it out, and Syracuse takes the opening 20 minutes up 4-1. A nice opening period for the Syracuse Orange. We come back, second period action between Syracuse and Oswego from inside Tennity Ice Pavilion. You're listening to the SU Hockey Network. Welcome back inside Tennity Ice Pavilion, where period 2 between Syracuse and Oswego is just about set to get underway. And one of these teams is hoping to both lake up and wake up in this second frame. The Lakers trailing 4-1 at the start of the second period, being outshot 16-3 by Syracuse. Thanks for joining us on the SU Hockey Network. James Colgan and Cal Stewart bringing you all of the action from the second half of the Syracuse weekend back-to-back. Mentioned earlier, Syracuse lost 5-3 against Niagara in the weekend's opening game, now up 4-1. And quickly starting the second period is a wrist shot in from Connor McNamara that gets blocked aside by the goaltender Alex Galosi. Franzese circles it down behind the net, looking for Prestamo. Prestamo lost the handle on it. Franzese staples a man to the boards. Hatchett working with it on the near point. McNamara. And it's played right in for Kaler to hold with the glove. And a stoppage of play, the 45-second mark. And Cal, that first period for Syracuse, a good one on the scoreboard, but in terms of playing consistent, flowing hockey, and I guess you could say this for both of these two teams, not so much so. A lot of stops and starts.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. A lot of penalties taken by Oswego State specifically. Kind of a weird period, not too much flow back and forth. Oswego only managed 3 shots on goal in the first period, and you wonder what answers they came up with over in the intermission, because they need answers fast.
Now back at the point, spun around the end of the boards, where Oswego can give chase, and Jacobs can carry it back out to center. Harrington looking for Hayward. Hayward dropped to a knee. Back out in front. Harrington on the backhand, and that one sticked away at the last second. A great opportunity for Owen Harrington. Now spun back around by Hayward. Up top. Shot from Hatchett. Catches a stick in front. Nice move made by Martin Simonik. As the Lakers carry it in, backhand chance. That one blocked away by a body in front. Then a shot from a sharp angle, also broken up. Syracuse pressing in the defensive end, not allowing much of anything in on the netminder, Jake Kaler. He's faced only 3 shots so far this afternoon.
Yeah, what will be interesting to watch here, James, is obviously Syracuse has demonstrated through the first frame that they're capable of controlling the pace of play in this game and possessing the puck. But can they stay focused and not let the occasional scoring chances by the Oswego State Lakers turn into goals? Because you see a lot of times in hockey, teams can stick around by converting on their scoring chances, even if they are not controlling the game in its entirety.
Face-off won by the Lakers. Back to the point. Wrist shot. Blocked in front by Pucciarelli. And a nice play by Patalino to get that puck out to the safety of center ice. Syracuse can go for completing the change after that icing call just a few moments ago. 17:22 left. Syracuse holding on to this 4-1 lead. Kalinowski, rather Pucciarelli, was knocked off the puck there. Was looking for an interference call. Not going to get one from the referee. Now played up ahead, Richard Smith works it into the offensive end for a second. But it's skied back out to center ice. Lakers, those green jerseys, seeing a lot of red tonight. Kalinowski puts it out in front, they score! Tyler Ains gets the goal for Syracuse, 5-1. And a beautiful setup and an even better finish from Tyler Ains gives Syracuse a 4-goal advantage.
Yeah, that's a great play by a couple of players who weren't in the lineup last night against Niagara. Tim Kalinowski came streaking down the boards and found Tyler Ains right in front of the net. Great play by both players, and I'm sure they're both happy about that one after not getting the nod to dress last night versus Niagara.
Alex Galosi now with 5 goals surrendered on 17 shots on net. But you can't help but wonder if maybe that number is maybe a little bit misleading, because this ice has been tilted completely in his direction this entire game. Now another centering feed, that time out in front. Hayward got a stick on it, and Galosi able to knife it away from the net. Hayward flips one high, now back out to center ice. Charging in. Here are the Lakers. Shot in on Kaler, that one blocked aside. Came off the stick of Mike Lemieux. And now here's Jacobs again with some speed. Matt Jacobs rips a shot. That went off the crossbar. Oh, what a chance. Pickett followed up with a rebound, but he flubbed it. But a great shot from Matt Jacobs. Would have been a pretty goal, just couldn't get the finish.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen that kind of shot over and over this season from Matt Jacobs. The tricky little finish with the snapshot. He fools a lot of goalies with his release. And, of course, we remember back when they played Liberty earlier this season, that a similar play to that found the back of the net. And Matt Jacobs found himself on SportsCenter as a result of that.
It was a game winner against Liberty that led to Matt Jacobs' SportsCenter debut. Syracuse hockey looking to continue to grow the brand at their highest ever national ranking right now, with number 14 in the country. Now it's likely to drop after yesterday's loss to Niagara, but the point isn't lost on this team that they've been playing good opponents and they've been playing them tough and even coming away with a few wins as well. We saw them play earlier the number 3 team in the country, Adrian, for back-to-back homestand here at Tennity Ice Pavilion. Neither game a win, but both pretty hard-fought, pretty close contests. Says a lot about the direction of this SU hockey program as the shot whistles high as Syracuse is onto the penalty kill for the second time tonight. Carrying it in back on the near point, it's Theo Cup. Cup playing catch with Calvin Walsh. Now down low, looking across for Walsh again, and that one broken up. A nice defensive play made by Ford Hatchett with the body. It was Calvin Walsh looking for Sean Mooney across the ice. Couldn't complete the pass, but a nice setup as now a minute killed on this penalty given to Peter Owen Hayward.
Yeah, you mentioned that this Syracuse team this season doesn't give up, and that's definitely been one of the main themes under the first-year head coach Connor Tracy. This team never goes away, James. Even in last night's loss at Niagara, which on the score sheet looks like a disappointing loss, even late into that game, it felt like Syracuse had a chance, and I feel like they're not a team that gives up easily.
35 seconds left on the man advantage for the Lakers. Holding with it is Theo Cup. And now here's a quick rush. Drop pass found no one. That time it was Nick Matro. And now rushing in again, and another penalty call. That time it looks like McNamara is going to get the call, but if not for a chance in front quickly from Oswego. Oscar Marchi with the play. And now here's Marvin again with it. Marvin scored the only goal of the night for the Lakers. And now finally Syracuse gets back possession as Peter Owen Hayward comes crashing back out onto the ice. But right as the Orange kills off a 2-minute power play, they'll go right back onto the penalty kill for 2 more, as it is Connor McNamara that's going to head to the bench.
Yeah, discipline will be key here for Syracuse in locking down this game. We were talking about in the first period, it was Oswego State that had trouble staying out of the penalty box, and the Orange were the beneficiary of that. It looks like, at least in terms of penalties, the tides may be turning in this game.
Puck flipped very high, right above the boards and out of play. But Cal, to your point, you talk about how detrimental it can be to a team to have 2 penalties taken in the span of just a few seconds early on in the game when you're trying to bring the pressure and you're trying to come out on the road and make a good play. That's exactly what Oswego did. They struggled a lot to get that pressure in front. And then the penalty kill wound up leading to a quick Syracuse goal, which really put this game in a bad spot for the Lakers, who look to capitalize on some momentum now. Quick shot comes in. That one fanned on by Marvin. Now centering feed across, found its way onto the stick of McNamara, but a great play made in net by Kaler to get across and keep that one out. Tremendous, as Kyle McNamara had a chance in front. And Syracuse able to do the dirty work, but then a clear messed up in front by Pucciarelli. A few guys sent spilling to the ice out in front. Looked like Hatchett might have been looking for a call there in the blue paint as Kaler covered up. 1:12 left on the man advantage, 12:51 left in the second period, and a 5-1 score. Syracuse holding on to the lead in this one.
Yeah, so 7 minutes into this second period, Syracuse only has one shot on goal, which obviously resulted in a goal for the Orange. But we contrast that with the first frame when Syracuse dominated in the shot totals. So far in the second period, they're down 2-1 to the Lakers in terms of shots on goal.
17-5, of course, is the number on the game so far. As a few bodies are sent down to the ice, and now a chance in front. Misses just wide. Good opportunity in front of Jake Kaler. Was looking to get that one on the stick was Sean Mooney. He just missed. Now here's Mooney working it back across and up top for Mike Lemieux. Back for Cup. Cup head-manning it, and a toe save made by Kaler. 20 seconds left on the kill for Syracuse. Much of this spent in the orange end. Nice looks from the Laker power play, but a nice play on the clear by Patrick Corcoran allows the Orange to kill off the final 10 seconds of this man advantage. Turnover, Harrington just lost the handle of it. We're back to 5-on-5 play. McNamara comes out of the box, quickly goes for a change, and Jacobs comes back out onto the ice. Syracuse going to get that first line rolling again. But instead, a block off the shin pad of Stephen Brezzi comes out of bounds. So we'll get a stoppage in play. 11:26 left in the second period, 17-6. The scoring, or rather the shots, in favor of Syracuse. But that was a good power play look for the Lakers, who have struggled on the offensive side of things, but that time had some prolonged offensive possession, a few good looks.
Yeah, very important just from the perspective of game management for the Lakers. Give their goalie and their defensive zone a little bit of a breather on that power play. One that they definitely needed.
Good rush into the offensive end from Hayward. The shot missed wide. Now a quick feed for Harrington. Found the tape, but he couldn't get a shot off. Then Hayward tried a backhand that squibbed out wide. Hayward giving chase. Holds his man to the boards, now comes away with it. Hayward sets up a one-timer. Jacobs couldn't get much on it, but he keeps rolling. Now a shot on net. Kicked away by Galosi. And the Lakers can head the other way. Played in deep. Pickett fought it off, played it right into the stick of a Laker forward. Now here comes Oswego. Shot on net, and that one's tipped in. Joe Marzalek gets it for the Lakers, make it 5-2. The Syracuse lead back down to 3. A marvelous tip in front from Marzalek.
That's a huge play by Marzalek in the offensive zone, finding the back of the net. And now we see Oswego only 7 shots on goal, but they've managed to convert on 2 of them. Huge play for the Lakers. I mean, getting that goal gives them a chance to get back in this game.
Syracuse wins the face-off right off. It's still a 3-goal lead for the Orange as Franzese goes flying into the offensive end again. But a nice play and a good setup from the Lakers, who have had a few of those quick goals out in front. Remember that first goal that came from Marvin was really off a weird bounce in front of the net that found its way through the 5-hole of Kaler. That time a similar type play, instead a deflection in front, but the same result, a 5-hole goal against Jake Kaler to make it a 5-2 game. The Lakers really seem to have even the ice back out again after what was a very tumultuous first period. There's now some more offensive pressure. Chris Wands with it on the near point. Gives off for Marvin. Marvin all the way around the offensive end with it. Still holding. Comes into the slot. Marvin can't find a handle on it. Still holding onto it. That's a full lap around the offensive end of the ice for Alex Marvin. Now he finally gives it off, and Kaler makes a good save, but he's knocked out of the net. Some more offensive pressure, and now a block shot in front. Great defensive play by Connor McNamara, and he sauces it down the length of the ice. Not going to be enough for an icing, and Syracuse can get a much-needed change, a veteran play by the captain to change that one up. Well done by Connor McNamara after a good offensive push from the Lakers, maybe their best of the game thus far.
Yeah, you can definitely tell after that Marzlick goal that the tone of this game seems to have shifted a little bit.
Now here's a partial break. Preston in on net, goes to the short side, and it's denied by Galosi.
We talk so much about hockey as it being a game of momentum, and you see that on display here.
Preston again with pace and physicality, and he draws a penalty after his backhander is pushed away by Galosi.
Yeah, just as I say that the momentum was shifting, Connor Preston makes a great play to draw the penalty and get the Orange back on track here. This is a big power play because any sort of offensive success on this one might be it for the Lakers if the Orange can extend the lead to 4 here in this second period.
Syracuse power play unit coming back out. It is the first unit for the Orange, so it's Peter Owen Hayward, Owen Harrington, Connor McNamara, Matt Jacobs, and Ford Hatchett up at the point. Syracuse wins it back cleanly. It's Harrington with the face-off win. Up top, Hatchett, snapshot, hits off a body in front, and it's sent all the way back down the ice. Under 8 minutes left in this second period. The Orange holding on to a 5-2 lead inside Tennity Ice Pavilion. The 14th ranked Orange leading against Oswego, who comes into the game 7-11 on the season. Syracuse 10-6. The Orange looking to make that 11-6 here today as Hatchett continues to press with 1:20 left on the man advantage off the penalty to Theo Kopp. And a shot on net is gloved down and held by the goaltender Alex Galosi. We'll get a stoppage in play. 7:28 showing on the clock, and the second power play unit comes back out for the Orange.
Yeah, that's a great save there by Alex Galosi for Oswego. Shot definitely tipped in some way on the way into the net, but he managed to adjust to that play and make a nice glove save off of it.
Syracuse charging back in. It's Luke Cato who tried to bank one off the end boards and instead had missed the geometry on it a little bit. It's played all the way back into the Orange end. 51 seconds left on the man advantage. Brezzi plays it off the linesman. Now back for Cato. Cato up top, Brezzi. Good puck movement from Syracuse. Look at to spread out this penalty-killing unit in the final 20 seconds of the man advantage. Here's Cato with it. We've seen a few one-time chances. That time, though, a drop pass for Brezzi, lost in the skates. And Cato has to recoup with 15 left on the power play. Cato behind the back pass as he stood up in the offensive end, finds its way to Franzese. Syracuse in the final 5 of the power play. 6:10 left. Back to 5-on-5 play. Syracuse keeps the offensive pressure. Preston tries on the net mouth for a shot, and instead it's broken up, and Syracuse better hustle back as a 3-on-2 is developing. Here's Marvin. Marvin works it across. Lost in the skates, centered back over the net front. But no one is there to catch it home. It was Guillaume Herbert putting in pressure as Preston is knocked back to the ice, and he is down again. Slow to get up, Connor Preston, second time today. So he makes his way to the bench. Seems to be all right, giving a word to Oswego player. And you could tell Connor Preston never one to miss a sly remark. Always got a smile on his face, but doesn't seem like he's making the opponent players all too happy when he's doing those things. Syracuse up 5-2, 5:46 left in the second period. Shots 19-8 in favor of the Orange as well. Quick stoppage in play as it looks like a athletic training kit is being delivered across the ice. Yes, Oswego side. We didn't see any players down. But now as we look, it does look like Guillaume Hebert is going to head down and talk to the athletic trainer. We saw him get off the ice rather slowly after that latest offensive opportunity, the back end of the penalty kill. So hopefully everything's all right. Long feed looking for Marvin, and instead they'll call that one icing. A good race to the puck. 5:14 left. Syracuse holds on to that 5-2 lead.
Yeah, after the first period, that was chock full of offense for the Orange. This period has been a lot more subdued for the Syracuse offense. Only 3 shots so far in the first 15 minutes of the second period. Quite surprising considering the events that happened in the first frame.
Quick shot from the point for Corcoran. Saved away by Galosi, and now the Lakers can break out again. It's Nick Matro playing it in. Marvin gives chase. Matro looks back for Marvin, instead turned it right over to Bresci. Walsh, fluttering puck behind the net. Up ahead, Walsh briefly knocks Harrington off the puck. Harrington centering feed into the slot, looking for Van Heck. And Van Heck just couldn't get the handle on it to get a shot on net as the clock ticks under 4 minutes and 20 seconds in this second period. Syracuse holding on to a 5-2 lead. And now a stoppage in play. And another penalty coming against Oswego as Matt Jacobs is slow to get up in the corner after being rammed into the boards by Sean Mooney. It looks like Mooney will be the guilty party. Syracuse going to get at least 2 minutes on the power play as a result.
Yeah, Matt Jacobs all year has been sort of a magnet for big hits like that, often drawing penalties. We saw it in the Niagara game last night. He was sent to the ice on 4 or 5 separate occasions from hits from the Niagara players, and on multiple occasions drawing penalties from those hits, and we saw another one just now.
Cato mispossesses at the blue line and loses another one after a clean win by Franzese. Cato knocked off the puck. Prestamo gives chase, looks to bring it into the end. He does with the help of Connor Preston, and Preston plays it behind the net for him. Now Corcoran looking for the tip in front, can't get it. Prestamo was diving, trying to get the toe of his stick on it and drag that puck back in. Couldn't get that one either.
Yeah, he was inches away from getting his second goal of the game just there. Just not quite enough to get around the toe of the Oswego netminder.
3:10 left in the second period. A minute left on the power play to Mooney. As Jacobs is back out onto the ice after getting up rather slowly after the penalty was called against Mooney. A lot of tired bodies for Syracuse after what was a very physical game yesterday against Niagara as well. This is another physical team in Oswego. Syracuse, for the most part, has brought the advantage, and now a numbers advantage for Syracuse. Chance in front for McNamara, and it can't get a handle on it. Now played into the far corner. Long centering feed looking for Hatchett, and his shot. Block it away. Good save by Galosi. Quick chip play for Harrington, who hands off for Jacobs. Jacobs with a low shot, saw an angle, and Hayward picks it back up again. 10 seconds left on the power play. Syracuse power play buzz it. Quick feed on the far side for Jacobs on the one-timer, and that chance misses outside the cage. And then Jacobs tries another shot as we're back to 5-on-5 play, but it misses out off the stick of a defender. Harrington holding with it. Gives off for Hayward. A new defenseman comes on. Syracuse looking to complete the change offensively. And finally comes back out to center ice. Patalino better play with that one quickly. Turns it over at center ice, and now here's Marvin. Marvin stood up by a nice defensive play by Steven Brezzi, who got back and hustled back in time. Syracuse ices the puck with 1:40 left.
Yeah, that last Syracuse power play might not have resulted in a goal, but that was one of the best ones that they've had since they've been back in 2019. That power play unit known for lots of backdoor movement and passes, and they were doing it again on that power play.
And how about that feed from Hatchett looking for Jacobs? That would have been a pretty goal had he been able to find it. You could see neither of them really had to make any communication, have any contact about that. They just both knew where the other guy was going to be. Just couldn't find the back of the net with it.
Yeah, that's the type of creativity in playmaking that we've become accustomed to from that first power play unit for Syracuse.
Especially Matt Jacobs, who, while he might not be the top point-scoring player on this team, certainly leads the team in some sort of offensive creativity or vision category, because we see him with chance after chance in the offensive end night after night. 5-2 the score. Syracuse leading as we're into the final minute in this second period. Shots 21-8 in favor of Syracuse. The most recent goal, though, coming from the Lakers. .45 seconds left. Syracuse gives chase, turnover. Quick chance for Ains, and Ains' shot whistles just high. And that was a rip from Tyler Ains, who's playing with some newfound confidence in this game here. Really seems to have an extra jump in his step this afternoon. So he had the goal earlier off a nice feed from Tim Kalinowski. That puck is played in on Galosi, and he takes a stoppage and play with 18.7 seconds left. But Tyler Ains, another one of those players who we've seen be streaky at times. He's had some really strong games, and then at other times he's really struggled. But today he's brought it very well, making a lot of impressive plays, including that nice goal in front off a feed from Kalinowski. 15 seconds left in the frame. Harrington shot, one-timer off the pads of Galosi and out of play.
Yeah, very strange second period here so far. After all the offense of the first period, Syracuse managing just 6 shots to Oswego's 5 in this second frame. Hasn't been a particularly offensive frame, although at times it's felt like it.
And there's Hayward with a big chance in front. That got just blocked away. Great save by Galosi. He had nothing there and somehow came away with the stop. And Jacobs' last shot at the end of the period misses high and wide. So at the end of 5-2, the score in favor of Syracuse over Oswego. Third period action coming on the other side of this break. You're listening to the Syracuse Hockey Network. 20 minutes left between Syracuse and Oswego, and the Orange looking to close out the first weekend of 2019 with a big win over a Central New York rival. Syracuse leads 5-2 to start this third period over the Lakers, as Joey Pucciarelli wins back the opening faceoff. And Syracuse gets things going with an icing. Boy, we've been saying that a lot today. It's been a very stop-and-start game. A lot of whistles. And this one, puck's going out of play. Icings, really just a bunch of everything. But we have not had a lot of consistent hockey played from beginning to end.
Yeah, not a lot of flow at all in this game. Lots of stoppages, lots of goals, lots of penalties. We'll see if any of that changes here in the third. I don't really expect it to.
Third period just underway, and welcome back inside the Tennity Ice Pavilion as a shot skitters wide. James Colgan and Cal Stewart bringing you all the action on the SU Hockey Network. We thank you for spending a little bit of your Sunday afternoon with us. The shot on net from Marvin, kicked aside by Kaler. Jacobs charging ahead with it, stopped at the line by Wands. And then a backhander played in on Kaler, gloved up and held.
Pretty quiet night for Jake Kaler here so far. Just 9 shots on goal through 2 periods and change. Hasn't been tested all that much.
Do you think that helps the goalie or hurts it to not see all that much rubber in your direction and then have to be sharp when you're facing those shots?
I would say that it does both. I mean, obviously, if you're not getting that many shots, you're not getting that many chances to be scored on. On the other hand, if the other team can manage to get good scoring chances while you're cold and not really involved in the game, that's definitely a dangerous spot to be in as a goalie. We saw that last night against Niagara. Mike Kuzo didn't get that much rubber throughout the course of the game, but the Purple Eagles managed a couple good scoring chances and ended up putting 4 goals up on the Syracuse Orange.
Now here's a chance. Mooney coming in. 3-on-2 briefly, but Mooney loses an edge. Sent spilling to the ice. Franzese squibs one back out to center. Prestamo gives chase. Near turnover. Prestamo working on it. Now here's McNamara with some space, looking back into the slot, and Franzese just couldn't find that puck through the bodies. Shot on net, glances off the stick of Galosi. And now here's Walsh to push it forward.
Yeah, McNamara's pass just an inch behind Franzese on that one. You think if they had connected on that pass, that puck might be in the back of the net right now.
Hebert back on the ice after we saw him take a brief absence with the athletic trainer, and now he's going to be right back into the box after what's certainly a kneeing call against Luke Cato. Everyone seems to be okay, but that's a very dangerous hit. You never want to be sticking your legs out like that. That can hurt a player very, very quickly, and Hebert's going to pay the price for it. 2 minutes in the box for kneeing.
Yeah, you hope Luke Cato is okay. That's always a really dangerous play, knee on knee. Can be very painful for both of the people involved in the hit, but I think thankfully both of these guys look fine right now.
Face-off won by Syracuse. McNamara holding with it. Shot off a stick and into the netting. $17-18 left in the game. 5-2 the score for Syracuse. The Orange looking to add to that. Harrington. Back for Hatchett. Now back to Harrington. Across ice. Great puck movement and a chance from Hayward. Just missed wide, but that was a tremendous looking setup as the puck flutters out of play. For Peter Owen Hayward on the far side to pop that one home. And this power play unit, after a really disappointing night yesterday, Cal, as you were alluding to, today has come out and they have really moved the puck while they've had a few power play goals. When they have been scoring, the chances have been coming from everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, last night we saw the power play kind of sputter because they tried to play on the perimeter the whole time, tried to work through their defensemen and try to get shots through lanes, but the Niagara defensemen weren't allowing that on the penalty kill. Tonight we see a lot more puck movement, a lot more creativity, a lot more scoring.
Harrington for Jacobs. Gets it right back, up top. Shot from Hatchett, tip. That puck's still loose. And now the whistle comes as Galosi dove on top of that one.
Not quite sure how that puck stayed out, James. Looked like Galosi got the inside of his blocker on that shot inadvertently, and it just got caught up in his goalie equipment. Lucky break there for Oswego.
So we talked about the puck movement, but how about the tip plays that we've seen today? Seems like everybody's getting some wood on those shots from the point. And the latest example coming from Connor McNamara in front. There's a shot that got a little bit too much of someone's stick, misses wide. Preston. Works it right back with some space, tries it from the doorstep. And it's kicked away. Nice play by Galosi. 30 seconds left on the power play. To Hebert. 5:50 left on the game clock. Shots 25-10 in favor of the Orange. And the goals 5-2. Marvin works it loose. Corcoran back behind the net. We're back to 5-on-5 play in Tennity Ice Pavilion. 15:19 left in the third period. Corcoran giving chase. Now back out to center. Here's Van Heck, and Van Heck's got plenty of speed, and that one rang the pipe. Nice chance from Christian Van Heck off a furious rush into the offensive end.
Yeah, if you let Christian Van Heck gain a head of speed like that, you might be in trouble. One of the fastest players on this Syracuse roster, and when he's given space and open ice, he can punish opposing teams. That's also the second time we've seen the Syracuse forward ring the crossbar like that. Matt Jacobs, of course, had a similar play earlier in the second period, but that also found iron, much to the pleasure of Holosi.
Pucciarelli gives off for Van Heck. Van Heck chipping away at it. And now Bedford. We haven't seen much of Adam Bedford tonight. But there he is working along the boards. And now a great centering feed out in front. And Hatchett just couldn't find the back of the net with it. Wow, what a play from his knees. I believe that was Van Heck who got that puck on net. And it was right onto the tape of Ford Hatchett. That was tremendous, heady offensive play.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier, Ford Hatchett, lots of assists on the year, yet to find the back of the net by himself. That was as good an opportunity as any for. He just couldn't quite get the handle on the back door.
There's a quick chance right off the face-off in on Kaler, but he was there with the pad. And then that shot, that might have glanced the post, if not the side of the net. And then that one finds the back of it. Oswego makes it 5-3 off a wrist shot goal coming off the stick of Mike Lemieux.
Kind of a weird-looking play. Harmless looking at first from Lemieux, kind of just curled around the top of the circle Looked like he found the back bar with the shot. Nice looking shot. Something that I'd imagine Jake Kaler would like to have back from that angle, though.
And now all of a sudden it's just a 2-goal lead for Syracuse after they led 5-1. It's now 5-3. And here's Lemieux again with the chance. That time the backhander misses wide. Brezzi plays it around the boards, and now here comes Oswego with some pressure. And there's Brezzi with some speed. Jacobs back to Brezzi. Brezzi tried another pass. It was one too many. But there's Hayward to pick it up again. Hayward, one-time chance for Jacobs. He couldn't get the handle on it. Hayward circles behind the net. Digs that puck out, and then his play along the boards for Brezzi gone outside the blue line, and so Syracuse will come off for a change.
You get the sense here, James, that the next goal in this game is absolutely critical. Syracuse got off to a really hot start, scored 4 goals quickly. Ever since then, Oswego has been slowly chipping away at the lead, and they're coming back. It's just a 2-goal lead now. And if the Lakers manage to cut this game to a 1 goal, they're going to start to believe they have a real chance to win this game.
And Syracuse, to their credit, have really controlled the possession. They just have been giving up quick goals on the defensive side of things, just not the defensive responsibility that you're used to seeing from the Syracuse team in this game as Walsh carries it out for the Lakers. And Walsh loses the handle on that one. He was offsides anyway. And he's got to give up the chase as Padalino now circles behind the orange end. Padalino nearly turns that puck over. Syracuse forced to tip it down the length of the ice. No icing. And Oswego looking for the icing call on it as it was Kyle McNamara applying some pressure in the offensive zone. Had a turnover there, if not for a good chip play. And that puck tipped on net by an Oswego player, but it misses just wide. Another chance from a sharp angle, and Galosi's there to grab that one and hold for a stoppage of play. 11:40 left and 5-3 your score.
Yeah, we see Joey Pucciarelli getting into it after the whistle with some of the Oswego defensemen, and it really wouldn't be a Syracuse hockey game without a little bit of Joey Pucciarelli after the whistles. He's been antagonizing other teams all year and has drawn quite a few penalties as a result.
Jacobs wins back the faceoff. Harrington back behind for Hayward. Hayward feeling some pressure, dumps off for Jacobs. Now second chance play, gets out of the zone. Corcoran couldn't hold it. The Syracuse forecheck gets to work. Brezzi has his stick lifted. Corcoran forced to give chase, feeling pressure from a man. Chips it along the boards for Harrington, and now Jacobs gives way. 2-on-2, 3-on-2 developing. Brezzi back for it, gives it for Hayward, and Hayward couldn't find it on the back end because the toe of Galosi kicked that puck out of the crease. Now here comes Oswego threatening again. It's Marvin behind the net, centering feed, no good. Chance blocked, and now here's Harrington with a rush. Harrington finds Franzese. Franzese from skate to stick, but he can't put that puck on net. Now Prestamo works his way in front, and that puck skitters over the top of the cage. Hatchett and his shot blockered into the netting. And a stoppage of play with 10:15 left and a 5-3 Syracuse lead. Now, if you're looking at the shots, you'd think the score would make a little bit more sense, 29-14. But even with a 5-3 lead, this game feels far from over for Syracuse and for Oswego with 10:15 left.
Yeah, Syracuse isn't quite amassing their shot totals from the game last night when they got almost 60 shots. If you were watching, remember we were debating whether Syracuse hockey would get as many shots as Syracuse basketball put up points in their game. And if you're wondering on the result of that, it was the exact same. 59 shots for Syracuse men's hockey, 59 points for the basketball team. A testament to both the dynamic offense of Syracuse hockey and the lethargic offense of the Syracuse basketball team.
Oswego pressures things into the offensive end. Back to the point. Padalino with pressure. And McNamara able to alleviate him back out to center, but raises his palms to the sky after his feed for Prestamo. Missed by a good 5 feet. Just wasn't where he thought he would be. So Syracuse forced to start the rush again after a change. Tipped in from Pucciarelli. Bedford giving chase. Able to further it along for Preston. Preston cuts inside. But he loses the puck in the process, and so Syracuse forced to dump and chase yet again. Pucciarelli there. And his feed for Bedford broken up. So now Oswego can rush forward. McNamara with some speed, but he was knocked off it. And now Cup circles it back into the orange end. 5-3, the final score last night as well. Syracuse coming on the losing side against Niagara, 5-3 in that game. And you mentioned 59 shots for Syracuse. Just couldn't get anything in the way of goals to stick with their longtime former NECHL rival. Of course, Syracuse now in the ESCHL. And speaking of the ESCHL, the man you see giving chase for that puck, Peter Owen Hayward, now holds the conference's longest scoring streak this season with 14 straight games with a point. And that includes, it's been a 3-point performance from him this afternoon alone. Continuing what has been a prolific is too weak of a word to describe the career that Peter Owen Hayward has had offensively for this Syracuse team.
He still has one more year.
Harrington puts the brakes on. Oh, and Brunner Grande was creeping into the slot all alone. Just couldn't find him with the puck. We talked about Brunner Grande's game. He was Division III transfer. Now playing in his first Syracuse game, and a centering feed for Kalinowski on the one-timer. Glove down by Galosi. Good save there. But Brunner Grande has brought some good stuff to his game today as well, as he missed the first part of his real first season and a half with injuries. He's finally back in the lineup, and in his first game, he's definitely made his presence felt. Drop pass for Oswego, looking for Marchi. Couldn't find anyone. Marvin was in chase as well. And that puck is icing waved off on that. Very surprising to see that one wasn't iced. Oswego very frustrated with that call. Coaching staff giving the linesman a full earful. And I happen to agree with them. That one looked like a very clear and cut icing for me. Allows Syracuse a clean change off the ice. So I'm sure they're not complaining about as the clock ticks under 6:40. Two-goal lead for Syracuse persists into the final 6.5 minutes of this third period. 5-3 your score. 31-14 shots in favor of the Orange as that puck flipped out of play by Bobby Vostok.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you're just looking at the box score of this game or just looking at the scoreboard here in Tennity, it looks like the Syracuse Orange have really had their way in controlling the play in this game. And in total, that's true. But if you take away the first 4 minutes of this game, the Oswego State Lakers are leading 2-1. So save that hot start from the Orange. This has been a pretty even game for the remainder.
Stoppage in play with 6:10 left on the clock. And that ESCHL schedule only serves to heat up for Syracuse from here on out. 2 games at Delaware next weekend, then NYU 2 weeks from now, right here in Tennity Ice Pavilion. Sure to be a good one, and that's a rivalry we know very well, as Kaler had that fluttering puck get under his pads, but he was able to hold on to it for stoppage and play. That NYU game, Syracuse already with 2 wins at NYU this year. Of course, we don't have to get into why the rivalry exists between these 2 programs, but you could certainly say that the rivalry is alive and well between the 2 New York programs. NYU is going to make their way up to Central New York in 2 weeks. As now a penalty called on the ice, and Pucciarelli giving the referee an earful after he's called for it. Looks like it's going to be a boarding call. Now, Pucciarelli was arguing that the guy he hit was not actually faced towards the boards.
It turned into the boards, yeah.
But referee's hearing none of it. And now all of a sudden, 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. 2 minutes of power play time for Oswego, down 2 goals. An opportunity to cut this lead to just 1 on the man advantage. On the ice for Oswego, it's Oscar Marchi, Kyle McNamara, Adam Marvin, Nicholas Matro, and Sean O'Neill. And those 5 will look to cut this one to a 1-goal game the next 2 minutes against one of Syracuse's top penalty killers and Joey Pucciarelli. But a nice play made by Peter Owen Hayward in the offensive end as he's continuing to kill some clock. Broken up a few passes. Now Hatchett steps up. Great play by Hatchett, and now he might have an offensive chance on his hands. Instead, just twists it behind his back, leaves it off for Hayward. Hayward to Van Heck, and Van Heck with a long stretch pass down the ice to stretch out this penalty kill and allow a full ice clear for Padalino, but he can't get it. It's knocked down by O'Neill.
Yeah, that's a great start to the penalty kill for Syracuse, all coming off that intercepted pass by Ford Hatchett. Almost single-handedly killed about 50 seconds of power play time for Oswego just because of that defensive play.
And now more than a minute killed off that power play after McNamara couldn't hold that puck clearing attempt on the near side boards. So 4:44 showing on the clock at a 5-3 lead for Syracuse. They've killed off the first minute and 15 seconds of this Oswego power play without any real chances on net. Forced back into the Syracuse end, and the Lakers have done something no team wants to do, which is ice the puck on the power play, let alone on a power play very late in the game where you're looking to capitalize and make this a 1-goal game again. That is a costly error by the Lakers. And Syracuse more than happy to send out some fresh penalty-killing legs and see if they can just kill off the final 35 seconds of this one. 4:20 left on the game clock in this game as well. 30 seconds still showing on that power play to Joseph Pucciarelli. Oswego trying to pressure in. Laker offense finally gets set up. There's Marvin working it back. It's O'Neill, and O'Neill's pass broken up. And Syracuse able to get it out of the zone. Now a 2-on-1 developing. Preston shot, and that one off the glove of Galosi and out. Preston was coming up with Bedford, but didn't matter. Syracuse kills off the rest of that penalty. We're back to 5-on-5 play in Tennity Ice Pavilion. The biggest defensive moment of the game and the biggest defensive stand of the game for Syracuse.
Yeah, can't overstate how important that kill is for this Syracuse Orange down the stretch here. Anytime you can not just kill off the penalty, but do it in dominating fashion, gives a big boost to the team.
But now here's a chance in front. Puck loose in the crease. Jacobs gives chase, and a little bit of a post-power play push from the Lakers. The feed comes out in front, but a good active stick, and it's Steven Brezzi, who's had a great game today, that gets that one out. Now here's Hayward with time and space. Hayward with a wrist shot that goes off the blocker. Good save by Galosi. And then a pass from Brezzi looking back into the slot for Hayward was not there. So 2:50 left and a 2-goal lead. Syracuse still holding on to it. We'll have to keep an eye on Golosi in the net as Padalino took that one off the noggin. Absolutely crushed by that rubber. Jacob Padalino seems to be all right, though. Skated on for the rest of the shift. He's a hockey player. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be all right. Might be good for him.
2:20 left on the clock, 5-3. Golosi still in his net. Catelli's looking to the bench as another rush comes in. Shot from McNamara, saved away. And now a stoppage of play. We got a penalty on the ice, and let's see who's the guilty party.
Jake Kaler seems to think that this penalty was on Oswego.
He came rushing out. It was the back referee that had his hand raised. It was all the way behind the play, and that's exactly what it'll be. Oswego is going to head to the bench. It's Nicholas Matro. Syracuse native Nicholas Matro, left-handed forward. But he's going to spend 2 minutes of the final 2 minutes and 11 seconds of this contest in the penalty box. And that might quash some of the Oswego hopes of a comeback, as the Laker coaching staff is going to take a timeout with 2:11 left. See if they can't talk something over offensively and get some sort of setup that could allow them some offensive zone time. But in a game where Syracuse has really dominated possession at 5-on-5, some 5-on-4 chances here, probably not going to do much to help the Oswego offense.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. And if you're the Lakers offense here, or the Lakers team, pardon me, you really have to find a way to get the puck out of the zone quickly so you can get Alex Golosi to the bench and have that extra attacker, because you're going to need 5-on-5 at least to have any sort of offensive chance against this Syracuse team, especially if Coach Adam Tracy is sending out the first line to play for this faceoff, which I can't imagine why he would not. But if you allow this Syracuse first power play to establish possession in the zone, you're looking at about a minute killed off the clock almost automatically. And that's certainly not something that Oswego can afford at this moment, down 2 goals with 2 minutes to go.
So everyone skates back out onto the ice as Matro is in the box for the next 2 minutes. Face off. Won by Cuse. And then the puck tipped up into the netting and a stoppage of play. Just 15 seconds into the power play. 1:55 left on the game clock as well. Face-off won by Oswego. Hayward pumps it back in, and 2 forwards up ahead for the Lakers looking to put some pressure on Hatchett, and Hatchett wisely skates back behind the net and plays that puck up to safety. As now Harrington centering for McNamara, and McNamara's play saved by Golosi. 90 seconds left in the game. And a stoppage in play for a whistle, as we'll have a new power play unit come back out onto the ice for Cuse. Syracuse holding on to this 2-goal lead with just a minute and 30 seconds left, climbing ever closer to coming out of this opening weekend of 2019 with a Sunday afternoon win. Prestamo's shot had some open space, and Golosi got in there with a few good saves. And after Alex Golosi had a nightmare start to this game, he's really rebounded well as he gloves that one down and holds again for a stoppage. 1:15 left.
Yeah, really, this game is really evidence of how important a quick start is in a sport like hockey, because if you get rid of the first 5 minutes of this game, it is a totally different matchup here at Tennity. A nightmarish start for Oswego, but they really have stood toe-to-toe with this Syracuse team since that start. They've outshot the Orange, in fact, since the first 4. Oh, they've outscored the Orange if you discount the first 4 minutes of the game.
But those 4 minutes have been all the difference, as now a second Oswego player heads to the penalty box. It's Adam Marvin, and he's going to get a call for roughing after the whistle. So Syracuse really just killing off the final few minutes of this game. Corcoran plays it across for Brezzi. Back to Corcoran. Corcoran lines up a shot. Save that puck loose in the crease, and it finds the back of the net. Trip Franzese with the insurance goal, and it's 6-3. Syracuse takes the lead over Oswego.
Yeah, it's a nice job by Trip Franzese here, just cleaning up the garbage in front of the net. He's had a couple of chances in this game. A couple of passes have just barely missed the tape of his stick in good scoring chances, but it's nice to see him finally convert on an offensive chance to ice this game late.
So 6-3 the score, and now we can start looking ahead. We talked about this NYU game in 2 weeks right here in Tennity Ice Pavilion. Now, something else worth noting for Syracuse hockey, that game is also free rally towel night here at Tennity Ice Pavilion, so you'll want to come down and check this one out. We promise the hockey is sure to be entertaining.
Always a barn burner when NYU and Syracuse get together.
Hockey is sure to be entertaining, but if that's not enough of a reason to come show up, you'll get a free rally towel with it as well. As Hayward takes into the offensive end. Hayward fighting off 2 guys. Circles back with it, feet across, and another goal. Owen Harrington take a bow as Syracuse has put the extra point on that touchdown, and it's now officially a football score in Tennity Ice Pavilion, 7-3, 27.3 seconds left.
Yeah, you might think that this goal wasn't really necessary or needed. Syracuse is already up 3. What is the difference between being up 6-3 and 7-3? But I'll tell you, after the loss at Niagara last night, the computerized rankings that decide who gets the at-large bids to the national tournament in the ACHA value scoring differential very highly. So that goal by Owen Harrington might seem meaningless to you at home, but it is not in the grand scheme of things for the Syracuse hockey and their goals for the rest of the season.
That's a very important point there, Cal, as well, and you wonder why Syracuse continues to pressure. You've got a 5-on-3, a few minutes left in the game. Why not just kill the clock and take the win? Well, that's because the goal differential is such an important factor that comes to the end of the season, and Syracuse really hoping to be making another national tournament run. To do that, you got to wind up in the top 25, or you got to get one of the auto bids. As the clock strikes 0 here in Tennity Ice Pavilion, the end of the first weekend of 2019, a victorious one for Syracuse. 7-3, the final score over Oswego. And as the jawing continues between the 2 Central New York rivals, Syracuse takes home the win in front of a home crowd at Tennity Ice Pavilion.
A little bit of controversy here before the handshake line. These teams have been going at it all afternoon. Looks like tempers are finally spilling over a little bit. The ref's struggling to contain that.
And Syracuse, of course, does the customary handshake line after the game. And it seems like there are a few unwilling parties in the group to take care of that. Of course, this was a point of controversy earlier in the season when Adrian just left the ice after a win over Syracuse in the first game of the weekend. Syracuse was miffed that they wouldn't show at the end of the game a little bit of sportsmanship and go through the handshake line. Now, a few players of this Oswego team following through with it, but it seems as though some jawing between a few players on the Syracuse side and Oswego side has stopped the full handshake line at the very end of the game. But that'll do it for us from Tennity Ice Pavilion. Syracuse takes a 7-3 win over Oswego. My broadcast partner, Cal Stewart. I'm James Colgan saying thanks so much for joining us on the SU Hockey Network here at Tennity Ice Pavilion.